Hi, I'm Arinoth, and I am playing Roderick King.
Hello, I am Legacy, and I'll be playing Loretta Rain.
I'm Luca, and I'm playing Frederick Perler.
Hi, I'm Tink, and I'm playing Helena McLeod.
Hi, I'm Vironz. I am playing Sister Rosalie.
And I am Solomon, and I am playing the Librarian. Good evening, everyone. When we last left off, our investigators had settled into figuring out how they were going to call upon the Labyrinth season, the unique season known as Numa, which only appears for one day out of every 9 or so seasons. But it can be called to appear earlier with the help of one of the hours. Just to hedge your bets, you decided to write 2 letters to the hours, one to the sister and witch, and one, hopefully, to the vagabond. Hoping that these 2 individuals could, if one failed, the other would succeed in bringing about Numa. Within Numa, you would speak to the keeper of the key that you need to lock away the the crowned fungal growth, to lock it away forever in nowhere, where it belongs. After these letters were sent, you all found yourselves being approached by various individuals who represented different groups, different occult societies that had play and power within various entities, various hours that had taken an interest in you. Several of them offered their assistance, several of them offered more power after this task was taken care of. And now we come in on one more day. You all rise out of your beds easily enough, though there's something different. There's a unique chill in the air. It is a chill that even pierces through the blankets and the covers, leaving you all feeling this. It's almost like someone is caressing an ice cube across your skin, across your entire body at once. It leaves no condensation. It also leaves no intense biting against your skin. It's just cold. And those of you who are used to the occult societies and the powers within the Mansis know that this cold is akin to what one can normally find within the wood, as if it is sort of reaching out from the Mansis into the real world. You, through all you have read and all you have prepared and all you have studied, know that today is the singular day season of Numa.
Okay. I figure people are, despite the wrongness of the way of things right now, and figure they're probably making their way down to breakfast. If I were to get up and look out the window in my room, the weather looks like what?
The weather looks overcast, but as opposed to a dull gray, the sky almost seems black and empty.
Okay, so like
D-
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. The wind is blowing, but as you look down into the sea, you see that there are no waves. It is as if not they haven't necessarily been frozen, but the waters have been forced to stay still.
Okay. I don't think Fred can. If you asked him, I don't think he could tell anybody exactly what it is about this that makes him uncomfortable, but he is very uncomfortable about it. So it is breakfast time for him. I'm going to pass the spotlight to someone else.
All right. With Frederick heading down to breakfast, we will go ahead and take our focus over to Helena.
Yes.
You have woken up and the Thunderskin's beat is slow and rhythmic. It's still there, but it's weaker, almost like it's trying to conserve energy during this odd, cold time.
Mhm.
You look about in your room where a few candles have been left, and the candles themselves are out, not even smoke wisping up. And you can, as you get closer, you can see that there almost seem to be small icicles along the wick, that even an attempt to burn the candle would likely result in nothing catching or the wick itself snapping.
That's a little unsettling. Any odd dreams or anything like that?
No, the night was peaceful. The
Mm.
dreams were normal, at least for as for your lot. You dreamt of the Thunderskin and of dancing, of joy and creating a better tomorrow through confidence and will.
Mm. Right. Um, well, she's going to bundle up because it's cold. Um, and just head downstairs, not knowing what else to do.
Fair enough. Sister Rosalie,
Yes.
this season is odd to you. It's not one you ever felt while you were out, even when you were abroad studying the various methods of the occult societies or performing your midwife duties. This season seems to be focused solely on Brancrug. It is a day outside of time, a day that does not follow the histories as they are, but as they could have been, as they might be. This is a time when many rights are given greater power, and many things that normally could not be pierced through the veil, as it were. It is a time when perhaps prayers can have even more meaning.
She would have definitely started her day off by praying to the unconquered sun and to, the more broad church of Christianity. She also would have lit a candle for Labyrinth if he felt like visiting.
The candles are hard to light, but given that you are lighting particular candles meant for a specific purpose, they have been prepared to handle some of the killer moments. And you can feel that there's the call made. The beacon is lit. It is up to Lapidoth, however, if he wants to visit. Or other beacons may be lit to show that there is a want for him to visit.
I think it's definitely a want for him to visit, but not a need.
Noted. Roderick. You feel this
Oh.
chill across your spine. It is cold, but also welcoming. You feel as if that presence that was with you is a bit more full now. And you can almost feel hands on your shoulders with fingers long and jointed more times than a human's fingers, holding your shoulders almost proudly.
And he will take a moment to sort of go over his notes, make sure he's up to date on everything that they're planning on doing, since it's kind of getting close to the moment of no return if we haven't passed it already.
You check over your notes. They are put together succinctly, very carefully, almost as if they've been adjusted and not shuffled, but put back in order more properly while you were asleep.
Hmm.
Like it almost seems like a mother's touch coming to tidy up.
And he'll take a moment to study the new order, sort of commit it to memory before getting ready to head downstairs, getting dressed, and changing out of his sleeping attire.
Very well.
And then he'll make his way down for breakfast. And he'll have his notes in hand. Or his notebook, anyway.
And of course, last but not least, Loretta. You feel this chill, but you also can feel the power here. The openness of the world and the histories to the will of those who want to make a mark or to change a mark.
Okay. Um,
Is there anything that you would wish to do before heading down to breakfast?
is there a place to hold prisoners in the town?
The town itself? No. But the Hush House does have a number of cells where rowdy visitors or perhaps uninvited guests have been held. Further back deeper into the building itself.
I would like to go to one of these cells before I make my way up for breakfast. Okay. But yeah, I would like to make my way to one of these cells. Get a prisoner. And I'm also going to grab some chalk, a knife, and some vials with honeysuckle and a little bit of poison ivy.
You gather the reagents from a smaller corner of the garden. Within, you see that there are plants that were not there before. Tall, growing agave plants. Definitely not native here, but they seem to flourish in the chill air. As you head towards the prison cells, you see that there is someone there. A hood is over their head. And you can see that they do not seem to be moving too much, but breathing evenly. And you see a small note on their back that is just a pair of lips, like a kissed mark with deep red lipstick, and the letter R.
She smiles and tucks away a thought at one point or another that she is having. She's gonna take the prisoner and kind of if this person starts to say anything, she is going to tie his mouth closed to prevent any noise from getting out. And in order to appease one of our people we are trying to summon, and to make travel a little easier on us, I'm going to make a rather private ritual circle. And I want to try to find my way to the spider's door.
Okay. You can choose either night arts or bright arts.
With the way this is going, probably night arts.
Arts. Yeah.
$19.
You create the ritual circle. You have, through your own ways, silenced the individual that was brought to you. And you put them to their use, to their purpose. You open your mind and focus, speaking ancient words in languages long forgotten by the modern world. And you see the particular door, one that had stumped so many within the mansis, and you can hear its hinges as it opens to you. You feel, with this particular ritual, hungry, a deep thirst that some give into, some fight off. It is one that you will have to consider and work to deal with in your own way. And I would like you to please put down dread, just so thirsty.
Possibly go wrong in here.
With this way open to you, it's very likely that you will have an easier time making your way through the mansis. That you have greater control over your own travels through it. There are not many doors left closed to you any longer. But what doors are left may be harder to appease. You do feel the power of someone who has traversed so high. You can almost begin to feel the light of the glory on your face. But you can definitely feel yourself, your mind expanding, becoming more, opening yourself to becoming more. And as the ritual ends, you are able to feel a certainty. You have ambitions, and you have the will to achieve them. Nothing will stop you.
Wonderful. As she kind of relieves herself of the ritual, um, she is going to reach into her shirt and pull out a pendant. And it is a circle, and on the inside is a grail with a couple of like blood splatters on the outside and what looks like blood to be falling off. And she holds it and she kisses it and then puts it back in her shirt. And cracks her head to the side once and to the other side. And before she goes to see the others, will go and wash the blood off of her hands and change out of her clothes into something else.
As you wash the blood in a small basin nearby, you turn to the door and see Christopher. He looks to you, then looks to the body, and then, just without saying a word, after looking to you one more time, moves to the beds on the cots, or the little cots on the sides of the walls, and pulls off the linens for them and says, "You might want to get down to breakfast. The others will be wondering where you are," as he begins to roll the body up in the linens from the bed.
You might be right. I would say that I'm sorry you had to find out like this. But we both know you already knew.
It's true.
And it's gonna help us.
I know. This is not my first time.
And she'll look back at him. A little bit of bleach will help clear out the smell of iron. And then she'll turn back and walk and hope that nobody catches her on her way to her room.
I'm going to make a roll.
Uh-oh. You can't
Please
make
don't let
rolls.
it be me.
You can't make rolls. Get out of here.
Please don't let it be me.
I hope it's
You
Helena.
need flour,
Let it be known that
egg,
the
milk.
funniest person to catch you in the halls covered in blood is probably the former hitman. I'm just putting that one out there.
Loretta,
Uh-oh.
you are making your way back to your room.
Uh-huh.
And as you turn a corner, you bump bodily into Frederick. Frederick,
Yes.
this is probably not the first time you've seen a beautiful woman covered in blood. This might be one of the first times that you've seen a beautiful woman covered in blood and you don't know why.
Frederick is going to look down at Loretta, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Actually, on the topic of looking down at people, how tall is Loretta canonically? Hold on a second. Oh yeah, so Fred is 6 feet tall.
Yeah, Loretta is like 5'3" on a good day.
Okay, all right.
A good day being a day with heels.
The gnome before him
What the fuck?
She's taller than Nell.
is covered in blood. The blood is where exactly? Hands, just all over the place.
Yeah, pretty much. It is all over the place.
Thankfully not the hands, because she managed to wash her hands off in a basin. But everywhere else, pretty much, it almost looks like she like purposefully got more on her as opposed to it being an accident.
We need to get you a steadier aim, sister.
It's intentional.
He sort of like points up and down at your body and says, "This isn't one of the others, is it?"
No. I don't kill people I like.
Jesus, it is too... And he's about to say it's too early for this, but he glances out a window and considers that he doesn't really know what time it is based on the fact that it's sort of the perpetual Numa overcast, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's murder o'clock.
Just get you into the shower, and if anything sticks, use a little hydrogen peroxide. I don't know if the librarian keeps any around nowadays, but that's what I'd use.
Well, luckily for me, this ain't my first rodeo. And she smiles, and with her clean hand just gently pats him on the cheek and then passes by.
Oh, bless your
make
heart.
Make sure that the innocent one doesn't catch me.
Well, maybe you need to make sure you sneak around better. I mean, come on, you just turned a corner right into me. Yeah, look. And he catches up one of his ankles on a knee, right? And he shows the bottom of his heel. And it's this nice, like, clicky Oxford shoe. Like, you could hear him coming down the hall if you were listening.
Wow.
Whatever. I'm sure breakfast will be ready soon enough. Don't be too late if you can avoid it.
Cross my heart and hope to. We'll leave that one to rest. And then she'll walk off to get dressed and then join the others down after she's had like a good shower, probably bleaching herself, and yeah, just making sure that she's clean enough.
You do see that within the shower there is a full array of various choices of things to help you just smell a little bit better, and things to be very like deep cleaning of body. And with with your knowledge of the occult, some of these are very cleansing of the soul as well. But there is also hydrogen peroxide, which does help.
I have no soul.
That's fair. After a few minutes of cleaning yourself up, you manage to get to your room, change into a clean outfit, fresh, unsullied.
Yeah, the dress that she's wearing is a nice pale blue with a bunch of little flowers on it.
Nuh.
Perfect.
Did you take that from Nell's wardrobe? I'm kidding.
And you are able to head on down to breakfast, where everyone else has been enjoying the full spread. It's back to being as full as it used to be, also with a few more choices of what looks to be a sort of like syrup that is made with the agave from the garden.
Ooh.
Well, today's a very special day. For Loretta, it is a day of feast. Um, Absolutely no reason why at all, but everybody sees her comes down and probably sees her eat the most that she has since she stepped foot onto this island. This girl's got like two just giant plates of food filled with like berries and like pancakes and bacon and egg, and like it's just a lot of food. And then you see her just begin to kind of scarf it down.
Murder is hungry work.
I will say I don't think I said that Sister Rosalie came to the house yet, even for breakfast.
That's true. You did not. You were busy doing your prayers and lighting a candle for Everett, who has not responded, at least not yet.
And she will continue to be patient and wait for him.
Fair enough. Everyone else is down in the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
After a little while, you all feel another presence in this room. Familiar, though it also seems to just be passing by. A glimmer in the lights and a shadow across the mirror within this room. And Sister Rosalie, you look up to where there's the stained glass window, and you can see that there is someone with stretched across it. Again, pinstripe yellow and black suit, pencil mustache, and just a arrogant smirk on his face. Sister, you're calling me quite often lately.
Well, I wanted to bring a warning to you, if that's all right.
A warning. Do tell.
My little group, or my companions in the house, we are calling on Numa, the season.
Well, I don't think you're calling it. I think it's here. And he just like looks around. The vapors that seem to be wafting through your church. I think that they are a sure sign that Numa is here. The Numa broom is present and accounted for. Which means that you're trying to call someone who can't exactly show up during normal times.
That would indeed be correct. Out of character, I've forgotten the name of the person that we're trying to call.
The person that you were working to call is Professor Rowena Hengerst. She is the holder of the mayor's key, which is the key that is used to open or close and lock the door to nowhere.
We are calling on Mrs. Hengerst to try and get to nowhere.
Getting to nowhere is tricky business. Getting out of nowhere is damn near impossible. But if you're just hoping to get there so that way you can close that door and keep it closed. He just like rubs at his mustache a little bit. How are you hoping to get the key from her?
I don't think we've exactly thought that through yet.
You might want to go ahead and get that hammered out with your compatriots. It's not impossible to do. She's given it out before. Hell, she's given it out kind of impetuously at times.
How's it happened in the past?
Well, various ways. Some people paid, some people just convinced her. She is not unmoved by words. Other people have downright stolen it from her, though that was at times when her guard was dropped, as it were.
I'm convinced by words. Do you happen to know the topic of which she was convinced by?
Oh, various things. Talking about things that they would need to better this history, or things that they would need to make sure that the history continued, or, well, promises made for her or her associates. She is from a unique group, a particular special club that goes back a long way.
Does it now?
A group of sisters, as they are. Not by blood. Well, not the blood in their veins, but the blood they've spilled. The blood they've consumed together. They are bound by a particular crime they all commit.
What would that be?
Or most of them, at least. It is a particular crime called the crime of the sky. The consumption of the progeny of too long. For long are not meant to create progeny. Creates a feral, visceral, in depth, all consuming drive to consume what is created between them.
Sounds like night arts, if anything.
True enough. It is a not unheard of crime to commit. And if we are all being honest here, I myself have almost committed this once. But no longer. not exactly capable of it no more.
Well, you already did receive your wish of immortality, did you not?
As do all along. But sometimes certain pleasures or certain weaknesses can be levied against us. I may not have a physical body anymore, but I still enjoy companionship from time to time.
How exactly do you receive it then?
Through dreams, I am more capable of entering the minds of others when they sleep. And when they open themselves to me, it is all the easier. It is not impossible for me to love, sister, and I have. And now my love has been consumed by the ocean.
Has she?
Of her own will.
What was her name?
She went by the name Matim Tuti.
Madame Tuti. I'll do my best to learn more about her. Perhaps I can dream about her. And in some fashion, you two can reignite what you had.
Perhaps.
Love is special.
It is. But the ocean, the depths that she is at now, it is dark. Hard for my light to pierce. And it was of her own volition that she did this. Speak to Welland at some point if you really want to know more. He was there.
I will. Would you perhaps want to accompany me to the Hush House to discuss any plans about calling upon the professor with us, or would you like to wash your hands of our business for now?
I think for now this particular row is y'all's to hoe. I'll be focusing elsewhere. Making sure that there are other things you all don't have to worry about.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Of course. Be well, sister. And with
You
that,
too, Mr. Lavadoth.
the candle extinguishes and you feel that presence leave. The mirror only showing your face.
I think now I'll go over to the Hush House.
You head into the Hush House proper. As you were walking through the village of Brancrug, the village is quiet. Literally too quiet. There's no sounds of conversation or laughter from the sweet bones. There's no movement in any of the windows. It's almost like either everyone has disappeared or they're being dreadfully still.
I'll open the door to the inn.
You open to the inn and you look about. The place is busy. but not with people you've seen before, not people from the village, not the sailors. There are individuals here that you have not seen properly. They're ones who are pilgrims or perhaps heralds from this time, those that only exist during this time.
Could I roll Bright Arts to recognize them?
You could.
I would like to do so.
Go right ahead.
I
Well,
Tough, really tough.
that's real tough.
let me hold on. What are our cards, right?
As a reminder, they're in the references and announcements tab, and it's pinned.
Um
The Flower Maker, Colonel, Forge of Days, and Madrigad are all known for being bright hours.
Yeah, I think the Flower Maker is who I'm gonna go for. And I'll take the D8 off that.
Noted.
I don't if you're all right with it, I don't exactly need to roll it to succeed. Because even if I get an 8, I am still below my 90.
True, but let's roll it and see if you get a 7, so you get a astonishing success instead.
Oh, that is very true. I forget about those. I've never actually successfully rolled one of those yet. I'm still on that path.
Still a good success. You have seen these people before, perhaps in dreams you held during your training, your rituals, and your upbringing within the Church of the Unconquered Sun. They are similar to Mr. Lapidoth, but they aren't as achieved or well versed in the ways as he is. They still hold to their normal physical bodies, even though those bodies really only seem to appear during these times.
I think she's
They
pleasantly
look to-
surprised by this.
a few of them look to you and rubbing at pendants towards religious symbols that show them to be of your church. They give a nod to you, and some of them even bow a little bit above the waist.
I believe for now she'll bow back.
Noted. Are you going to step in, or are you headed to the hush house?
For now, we'll head to the hush house.
Okay. You head to the hush house, and the door opens to you, and you are able to head inside to where the others are consuming. It could be breakfast. As you all woke up around this time, it's very possibly morning, but time is hard to tell right now, and the what few clocks are around aren't ticking.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Or at least I guess we have to assume that for now. Has anyone else been outside?
Uh, yes, I have actually.
I don't care for the weather right now.
Oh, I think you just might.
Rather chilly. Did you want something hot to drink? You've been outside.
Oh, don't worry. I'm just fine.
She'll kind of give up. I don't know if I believe you look, but I'll let it rest.
As
There-
you are speaking, you see that the librarian comes back into the room as well. He seems to have he seems to not be wearing his jacket right now. Seems to be just wearing his shirt and the vest underneath it. As is normally underneath his jacket. Good morning.
Good morning. There are dreams about right now.
That there are. The Numa does not only bring a possibility to speak with certain individuals, it brings unique pilgrims that make their way here. To laugh, to drink, to enjoy their time within this history.
So, I got a good question for all of us, as we haven't really entertained the idea. How exactly are we going to be getting the key from the professor?
Well, that's a classic matter of bargaining, isn't it? I mean, what can we offer them that they would accept?
Exactly. What can we offer?
I'm going to glance over at the librarian. I'm sorry, is in the room right now, yes?
Yes, he is.
Glance over at the librarian. Well, you've got this great big old library, and I'm assuming there's more than a handful of valuable goods you might find it in your heart to part with as an alternative to the end days.
What sort of things does she want or like?
Well, she's quite a fan of a few particular tomes. I could work to gather a few books that she could borrow.
I believe she would need to have them. Don't forget that we are taking the key from her for now.
This is true.
What about well, I might have something. It's not a book, but it is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask
on.
before you agree to give something away. How attached are you to this thing?
I will admit that I never want to see it again.
I don't believe that would be a very good trade then.
Yeah. If it ain't personal,
It is very
or
personal.
in a good or a bad way.
I suppose it depends on. She'll hold up her hand and show the very opulent engagement ring that is very out of character with her.
Dear, I would need you to understand that if you do offer that to her, there's a very strong chance that she will ask you to actually keep it on you.
Why?
Honestly, I would see it as a form of torture on her part. Who would want you? It would be something that she would require you to keep and have and look at and observe daily. to remember to remember as a sacrifice to her.
Yeah.
Pain for saving the world.
Pain is personal.
I am not a stranger to pain.
Are you really willing to relive it every single day for the rest of your time?
I already relive it every day. You once asked about my scars. It was silly.
It's not silly if you are willing and ready, then it is not a bad idea.
It's true. This pain can have as much power as something joyous, depending on the ritual, depending on the purpose.
Unless someone has something better, I would be willing to give it.
Out of character, I'm aware that I think one of the characters is holding onto the Frangaclaw right now. Teehee. This is nothing that Fred would ever understand, but the Frangaclaw is a gate key the same way the Mare's key is. Or at least it's a very similar key, certainly. And that seems like a pretty solid bargain to me, but
That I was gonna bring that up.
Fred is too lobotomized to know how that works, so...
And now it's
that's
time for the
okay.
person who has it. Hey, Loretta, what you thinking?
It's funny that you bring that up, player character or player, not character.
Voice in the sky?
Voices that shine down upon us and say, "No, you." Because she is going to reach into her little satchel, dig around, move around a book, and then pull it out.
Just whipping it out.
Please, sir, there are ladies present.
One of all of us.
Please practice ritual safely. Don't need any happy little accidents.
Please make sure to clean up after your rituals as well.
Anyway, we're getting off topic here. But she actually places it on the table. Well, before we go and giving away engagement rings that may or may not hold a lot of trauma, I was thinking about maybe using this to bargain with. We might have a bit better luck.
What about the hand mirror that I had? Or have? Perception into other histories.
Would Loretta know which of the two would be more valuable in this instance?
Both have their purposes and both have their value. From what you have studied about this person, given that they are a holder of the key, something associated with keys and especially the aspect of knock, the way of doors, might be a bit more appropriate to her. Though it is also very likely that she might want several things, given how important this key that you're asking for is to her, and the mirror that opens a small door to other histories is also not without its purposes to her.
Right, okay. Well, let's start with this. And then, if needed, we add in the mirror. But I don't want to give away too much. Not unless it is desperate.
Understandable.
So, I also took the liberty to expand our options, so to speak. And grant us another way into the Mansus, in case we need it.
Which would be?
Well, there's a certain door that my people have access to by sacrifice.
And what would you be sacrificing?
Oh, I already sacrificed.
Well,
It's
what?
open. So, we have another way into the Mansus just in case we need it.
It's not exactly comforting to hear. I hope you understand that.
Well, a woman's gotta do what a woman's gotta do for the better good, if you know what I mean. And she
I guess I
smiles.
do understand.
No, it's okay. Nothing of importance got hurt.
Oh,
You having to assure that also isn't confidence inspiring.
Have I let you down thus far?
No, but
Then have a little faith in me, sister.
I suppose you have me there.
But we have a door that is open to us. If it might make things easier, or we need a quick way into what can't be seen. And it's a good backup option.
I suppose so.
But I digress.
I guess we have all that we need. Is there anything that anyone needs to prepare before we go ahead and make our way into our journey?
I think I'm ready.
I wouldn't know what to prepare. It's all very strange.
You are indeed correct. It is very strange.
I guess Fred's probably got it all figured out as much as he's going to have it figured out.
Well then, shall we?
Let's.
Suppose.
We shall.
All right. As you all are getting up and getting ready, the librarian is cleaning up breakfast. You all hear the doors to the hush house open, thrown open almost as if by wind, as there's a great chill that floods out and almost seems to create ice, a sheen of it across every surface. And as you as you step properly into the entrance hall to see what the fuss is about, you can see that there is a rather stout woman, thin, but not exactly tall, about Loretta's height. Her hair is like snow with a black dove pin in it. Her eyes are white and look almost empty. And she steps quietly, calmly into the hush house's wall entryway. I was not expecting Numa this early.
Well, it does only come at a certain time. Is there anything that we can do to help you?
It comes when it is called as well, from time to time. And she looks to all of you, her eyes just slowly like just washing over all of you, and you feel a chill deep in your gut when her eyes land on you.
Hmm.
I take it that it was called.
Yes.
Very well. Professor Rowena Hengerst, at your service.
Oh,
I believe we have much to discuss if it has been called. And that's where we're going to take our break. Welcome back. You all are now seated in not the dining room, but a nice little study area. Several plush chairs have been brought in from other rooms, but thanks to the librarian's hard work. It seems that he's feeling much better after so many days of rest, and the powers of Numa seem to have reinvigorated him as well. Tea has been served, as well as various small biscuits. And you all are seated sort of semicircle around uh, the good Professor Hengers. So why have I been called?
There is something from another history attempting to fully open a door and make its way through and destroy this history.
Hmm. I see. And you would have me do what? I will protect the Hush House as best I can as its protector. But you already knew that, so you have something else in mind.
The key that you have and hold.
The Mare's key.
Indeed. We would wish to use it to lock the door and stop the ground growth entering this history.
I see. And I assume that you would use this to lock the door within the mansis.
Indeed.
Hmm.
If you wish to see the potential destruction of the crown growth coming through, we do have an item that would allow you to do that, though it will most likely horrify you.
Give it to me.
I believe I gave the glasses to the librarian.
The librarian reaches within his pocket and pulls out the somewhat broken glasses. She takes them, looks at them, looks through the lenses for a few long moments before she pulls them away from her face. Ah,
Is that all you have to say? Ah?
she just slowly turns her head to the sister. Sister, I have done, learnt, killed, and consumed many things that mortals would not believe. I've seen grander designs and greater horrors than this. But I can understand where you are coming from. And I can understand why you want the key. And she just like raises her hand, and a long, ornate key that almost seems to be made out of wood and sinew, almost entwined together, appears in her hand, just the index finger resting on the back of it. And I can understand why you would call me to get it. What exactly are you willing to do to take it from me?
Myself, or are we perhaps addressing the whole group?
She just slowly turns her head to look over the group as a whole.
Well, we have an offering for you.
Do tell.
She is going to pull out the Frankenclave and place it on the table and kind of push it towards her. How's that?
She looks at it, takes it in her hand. Quite nice. Quite nice. Quite powerful. And you would give this away just for a few hours, maybe even a day, with the mayor's key. Part with something so strong.
We understand that there's power to be had with such an artifact, but we are also aware what happens if we don't get that key, and it's good for nobody in any situation. Have you ever heard of a thing called the crown growth?
I know very intently, very deeply about the crowned growth. I know of its nature. It does not have a design. It is just its own form of hunger.
Well, we need to deal with that hunger as soon as possible.
I see. I understand. And now I know what you will give. And then she just turns her head back to Sister Rosalie. And what of you? What would the good, pious sister give?
Would you prefer worship? I can worship you, and I'm sure I could convince others to help worship you as well.
So quick to try to find a new god.
No,
no.
not find, nor create.
You
I'm
can
sure worship could help provide insights and such to things that you don't have access to just yet. It's not like you're very well known outside of communities like ours. Imagine if you got access to the common folk.
The only thing the common folk have use of me is what I pick out of my teeth. You can keep your prayers, sister. I want something tangible.
I'm afraid all I have left then is a hand mirror.
Show it to me.
And I will pull out the hand mirror. I forgot what it's called.
The wild.
The wild ring. Yes.
I see. Give it here.
You have not heard the others' offers just yet.
No, but I will.
She'll slide it over very tentatively right now.
She just takes the mirror, just caresses along one side of it. And then she looks up to Frederick. And what of you, sir?
Frederick leans back for a moment, and he thinks. Says, I'll make you a bargain. The way I see it, soon enough, one of two things will be true of me. I will be dead, or I will be, and he kind of rolls his hand on his wrist for a second, looking for a word. I will be, like Welland, like the, Lapidos, you know. So, the deal is this. If I die in pursuit of that, my corpse is yours. And if I don't, let's be friends.
You can see that there's just a very slight movement of her mouth, like she's trying to hide the fact she's kind of licking her gums.
As one does. Very, very normal behavior from the Legion.
That will suffice for the time being. Just know that being my friend is a very harrowing experience.
I would assume it be nothing else.
And you, the studious one, as she looks to Roderick.
And true to the name that she called him, he would have been looking in his notes to see if he actually has any hint of something that he would have had that she wants, because I don't think he's actually collected anything tangible to trade. Unless I'm completely forgetting something that I picked up, which is possible.
Out of curiosity, who took the tablet that had the saint that the Mother of Ants used to be on it.
Old Mother Anguish.
Yeah, Mother Anguish.
I think it's Old Mother Anguish. I could be wrong. I don't know who actually ended up with that. I intuitively suspect it was probably the sister, just because it's very saint core, but otherwise I'm not sure.
I was thinking it was either Sister Rosalie or Roderick, given that it was very attuned to knock.
I don't remember picking it up. Like, I don't have it written down that I picked it up.
Rock, paper, scissors.
She thinks for a moment. I can sense something unique. Another item akin to the front cloud. Aspected as such. And the librarian does actually come back with the tablet. I believe that you're speaking of this. I would accept that as a form of payment for you, sir. Unless, of course, you can think of something else to offer me.
He'll
Beyond prayers.
He'll look the tablet over. I think that would do nicely, as far as I can tell, for a trade from me.
Very well. And, of course, now we come to the quiet one.
Oh. Hi.
Hello, my dear.
Hello.
I can hear the heart beating within you.
Oh.
What do you have to offer?
I'm afraid I don't have anything like the things you've accepted so far. I had thought earlier to give you this, but I don't see how it would. What would you like?
She looks to you, like leans in a little bit, and you can just hear her sniff just. And she looks to your hand. There is a pain you carry.
Oh. Yes.
I would see the item of that pain.
She'll hold out her hand with the engagement ring on it. This is my engagement ring to a Mr. Daniel Everett.
The late Mr. Daniel Everett.
Yes. 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 I recently learned of that, and I am still a bit in shock. I feel it is my fault.
In a way, it very likely is. You must learn to move past what you've done. You need
Yes.
not dwell on what is past. Focus on what is future, present.
Yes. This ring has been a bit of a shackle of sorts for the past few years, and it carries with it quite a bit of pain, yes.
I would take it from you.
You would?
I would. Though not without its own price.
And what would
I
that
have
be?
I have use of such a focus of rage, sorrow, anguish, of tattered and torn love. But I will let you know that while you may not need to see it anymore, when I use it, you will feel it. It will not be pleasant. It will not be brief. But it will pass. It will pass, and if you are strong enough, it will not leave a scar.
I have plenty of scars already, so it would just be one more. I believe that I could endure.
I
It
believe
is
that
what
you
you want.
can. It is. And she will just hold out a hand to take the ring.
She will remove it and place it in her hand. Thank you.
We will see how much you thank me when I utilize this. There is a brief moment where you look at her and you think that there might be a slight twinge to her face, like a more extended frown as opposed to the sort of neutral expression she's given, before it is just gone, a flash of what could have been emotion. Very well.
Pull out her hanky and dab at her eyes. And sit back down.
Very well. The key. And she will just place it on a small table to the side of her seat. I shall leave it here. You are free to utilize it as you see fit. I will return for it within the next Numa. I will return here for it. If it is not here, then I will be cross. Is that understood by all of you?
Very much
Yes,
so.
miss.
Very well. She slowly stands up after setting her tea down. I don't often take personal matters into account, nor do I often really, how do they say nowadays, stick my neck out. But with this endeavor, I will wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Of course. And I will let you all know, should you perish, you will not be wasted. And
Roderick
that,
is going to squint suspiciously because he thinks she just said she'd eat them.
How kind of you?
That's fish.
Snack.
she gives a small smile, bows, and without elaborating further, begins to depart.
Oh goodness.
But she stops herself at the door. Librarian, I will take that small stack of books you had gathered. Twitchy's just twinging like, damn it, I thought you had forgotten.
Son of a monkey.
And he grabs the stack of books, brings them over to her, and she just, without even using both hands, just like one hand, like almost like server carrying a platter, just begins to carry them out the door. Well, that went better than I expected, if I'm honest.
Indeed.
I don't know if I want Les to be Emile or to be her friend, but I guess we're going to find out.
It could be worse.
It could certainly be worse. She could have said she wanted to eat one of you. Well, as a part of the payment, not just to say, well,
It did sound like she very thinly veiled that as a threat.
oh, less of a threat, more of a promise, as the Legaeans are wont to do.
Well, we should probably move on from that.
I think
Yes.
it's best not to dwell on that. Yes.
Well, we have the key. It's Numa still. I mean, what else is there to be done? We gate things, and then I'd better get it together to start, you know.
Start
Honest-
what? I do not know.
He, like, looks the sister in the eyes and kind of squints a little bit in a how do I explain this way. Says, truly nothing to do. Nothing to do with any of our concerns imminently. I'm sure you remember what I said. I'm either going to be, sort of an immortal abomination, or I'm going to be a meal. As it goes, being a meal is very low on my list of priorities, yeah?
Understandable, though do keep a few seasonings on you just in case you do fail.
Yeah.
There's rosemary in the garden. Oh, it was a horrible thing to say.
I do have to wonder why you think that it is that immortals are abominations. The long are not truly good or evil, they just are.
I'm sure I'll have a better stance once I'm on the other side of all of this. Or I'll be dead and you won't have to hear from me again, yeah?
That's fair. Best of luck, though. You have been an interesting guest to the Hush House, and I've quite enjoyed your company.
Does anyone happen to know where a Mr. Wendell is?
Wellen.
Wellen.
Wendell.
I do
Wendell
know.
Wellen.
I do know where the captain lives. He told me. Like when we arrived.
Would you like to accompany me and visit him? I do have a few questions for him.
Oh yes, yes, I can do that. I've been meaning to come and thank him for his kindness and his wife.
It would probably not be a bad idea for if you have any associates in town to say your goodbyes to them. I don't exactly know how easy it will be to get back from all of this.
I suppose that is the beauty of not exactly planning on it, but this is going to be a very interesting endeavor for all of us.
Yes.
To say the least.
I think Mr. Perler's going to stand up and stroll out into the Numa broom for right now.
Mhm.
Fair enough. You're heading anywhere specific or just to catch some fresh air?
He's going to go and try and find a Welland, actually.
Fair enough.
We can delay what that scene looks like until somebody else resolves their loose end discussions, if needs be.
Fair enough. So it seems like Helena and Sister Rosalie are also going to go speak to Captain Welland.
But at least now Nell knows where his house is, whether or not he's there.
It's true enough. And Loretta and Roderick, do you have anything that you would like to do? Perhaps would you like to join them in speaking to Captain Welland, or do you have other business you would like to attend to?
Roderick would probably take that opportunity, since it seems like we will be getting into nowhere, to try to find some books about nowhere and
Right.
exploits into them that may have been, if not successful, at least survived.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a roll of, let's go ahead and call it widely read. And what is Loretta up to?
Nerds. Probably also going to be preparing for her trip into nowhere. Grabbing any supplies that they can kind of reasonably take with them. Nothing super heavy to hold them down, but we don't know what we're going to face when we're in nowhere. So I'd like to have her get a little bit of like preparation time. Do we know if the librarian's coming with us, or is he?
The librarian has said that he will assist you however he can. He's a bit more knowledgeable of the masses as a whole. He hasn't been to nowhere, but he will. He says that because you all are willing to put your necks out for this, he will do what he can to assist.
I might pick his brain about the Mansis a little bit more to see if I can cross compare notes. And see what information I can get to better our chances of making it out alive.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a roll of, let's call it a lure for shits and giggles.
Time to seduce a nerd.
Talk nerdy to me.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would like to, actually, just give me. Yeah, I'd like to, uh, use one of our, one of our cards to reroll that,
Alrighty.
because I don't believe a meat beats.
A meat actually does beat, if only just.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it anyway.
Just want to stunt on people. Got it.
I'm gonna roll a d20 now.
I mean, you can.
Ooh. I think I'm going to use the fleeting moth for this.
Utilizing the power of chaos to have someone focus on not on the fact the world's ending, but on the fact that someone is pretty.
Yep. And I'm going to roll the...
It was a D8.
I will roll the D8. That is a success, a better success. For 60 instead of 80.
Fantastic. You're able to prepare yourself a little bit more, get a few more little protection rituals that you can extend to the group as a whole, as opposed to just focusing on protecting yourself. Things that will probably help keep you and others safe. And I will make note that these rituals will be done by both you and the librarian, and they will come into play should you run into any dangers within the Mansis. He says, as if you wouldn't run into any dangers in the Mansis.
Excellent.
And with the roll that Arinoth made, you're definitely able to get a few more tales about Nowhere. It's effectively in a way, the land of the dead. It's where dead gods and gods that have been banished from reality go. It's a realm that shouldn't basically be nothingness, but things still work to create or influence the world from there. A lot of the older gods that have been killed and replaced are there. There have been a few trips there. Not many of them would go well, but the best individual that you know to have made it into Nowhere and then made it out has basically left a series of notes that eventually devolve into the ramblings of a madman.
Well, sometimes there are kernels of wisdom in the ramblings of a madman.
If you'd like to try to decipher some of them, I will take a determination roll.
I was just about to say, what could I roll to try to decipher like something useful out of it? Whoops, I did that wrong.
It happens.
Oof. See what we have dice-wise currently. What does the colonel represent?
He represents, by and large, unkindness. Though he also represents he is very associated with the lantern and tends to represent trials and in some ways go how far one will go to achieve their goals, given that he allowed himself to be horrifically scarred and blinded in order to defeat one of the gods that now resides in Nowhere.
And does his moniker of being the colonel have anything to do with the military and the actual like rank of colonel? Because I'm trying to think maybe by bringing order out of the chaos of the mad ramblings, it might sort of lean on the sort of authoritarian order that officers in the military try to maintain.
It would make sense given the fact that he is often represented in an officer's uniform.
Okay, then I will use a D4 from that. If that'll work.
You absolutely can.
Alrighty. 43, so that will be a pass. I was hoping for a 3 to make it a good pass.
So, with the pass, you were able to decipher them. You can see that it is almost a travel log. It is from someone who seems to have been a sailor at one point. And it seems that this travel down into nowhere is akin to descending into the underworld, similar to Greek myth. It is not a easy traversal, but with the right key and with enough preparation given you from your associates, you think you can manage it, and especially with the knowledge within this tome. And I will make a note that you have studied the way down into nowhere, to have descended to an underworld ocean lit by lamps of black nephrite.
All right.
And now for the 3 who have been going to visit Captain Welland.
Hi.
Yes.
Okay, well, visiting Captain Welland presumably happens somewhere Captain Welland is. And that
He
means...
is actually currently outside.
Okay, all right, just
You
out
all
here
can-
in the gases
you all
and the
can
smokes.
You all can see him basically within the vapors of Numa Broom, overlooking the still waters on a cliff's edge. The cool breeze just casually going across him. You can also see, like, as you get closer to him, it seems like he's steaming. Like there's steam rising off of his form.
Captain Welland.
He blinks for a moment and then turns to the 3 of you. Ah, hello.
Hello.
How are you doing, my good sir?
I'm doing quite well, actually. I enjoy the peace of this time. I assume you had something to do with it.
Oh. Well,
Rosalie will nod her head.
sort of.
Very well.
Okay. I think Fred wanted to have a sort of quieter discussion, just him and Welland. And now there's some other guests here, which is sort of funny. So who is our third person?
It is Sister Rosalie, Helena, and Frederick, though he does look at Frederick and looks at the other ladies. It seems that I'm needed briefly for a moment. If you would be so kind as to give the good sir and I a bit of privacy.
Yes,
Will do.
we
Thank
can
you.
have girl talk.
Girl talk.
Girl
Girl
talk.
talk with the immortal Forge Along.
You're gonna be talking shit.
I can't believe what Loretta did this morning. I just can't stand it being covered in so much blood. It just totally ruined her clothes.
Damn, if only
Mhm.
she knew.
If only. But with the sister and Helena stepping away, it leaves Frederick and Captain Willand alone, able to speak without worrying about anyone overhearing.
Well, Captain, I've just come to request a little advice. I, as I'm sure you well know, am not like most men, so far as I am basically a man of some violence, you know.
I know the look of a killer.
You know the look of a killer. Wonderful. On that note, I have arrived at a sort of crossroads. Since being entangled in all of this, I see broadly two ways out of it. Because at this point, there is no politely declining it anymore. I know these things now, and I'm going to be wrapped up with these nightmare people until I die, I have no doubt. I think if I intend to spend more time in this sort of world, it is in my best interest to come to ascend, like yourself, like Rowena, or goodness, Lapidoth.
Ah, you've met Everett then.
You make it out like you've met Everett.
In passing, it was not a pleasant experience. Distinctly unpleasant in a way different from speaking to Professor Hengerst.
Right.
With her, you can get a general idea of what she wants. She's hungry, as they all are. But Everett, he's cunning. He's very friendly in a way that shows that you're going to owe him something later.
Captain, do you ever regret the choice you made? Your particular path over another?
My own path?
Your own path, yes.
No. I believe it was right for me. I was needed to stand as a bulwark against the enemies of the king, and then the queen, and the king, and the queen again. And with the path I chose, I was able to become that bulwark. And now I stand immortal, but not immaterial. I can still feel and laugh and love and experience things within this world. And I'm happy. I do have to worry about if I ever accidentally cut myself that I might burn a large hole through various things until I patch it, but other than that, I'm happy.
Well, I suppose the long and short of it is this. I'll be pursuing something like you, like Everett, hopefully not like Rowena. And if you had a bid to make about that, this would be the time to make your bid.
Well, that depends. Of your own nature, do you wish to embrace it or find something new?
The way I see it, I can embrace my nature and I can stay here in the mud and the broom and the worst of the living, and I can continue the work and the violence and the labor that makes the world go round and always has. I figure that's essentially what you've done, and you do it for the sake of Great Britain as well as... I'm sorry, out of character, would I know what the Endeavor Lodge is? Or would Fred? Also, do you know what the Endeavor Lodge is?
I know what the Endeavor Lodge is.
Okay, all right. That's.
I definitely think that you've heard about it in passing. You probably know more innately of it being a captain, like a very exclusive captain's club.
Mm-hmm.
But after learning here and doing a bit of research, you've probably seen the fact that the Endeavor Lodge has been mentioned in several of the books, showing that it also has a lot of ties to strength and persistence, and in its own way, a form of power that seems to give way for both destruction but also creation. Not violence, just the removal of something to make room for something new.
Anyways, like you and rest of the chaps at the Endeavor Lodge, you can stay here and you can keep tolerating the worst of it. Or I could take a route like, the good Everett Lapidas, and I could forfeit all of that and take on an eternity of, unnatural visions and vistas of this Mansus people keep talking about. I figure by now I've visited it, getting sucked into these nasty dreams every night.
True enough. It can be a great place to calm oneself, explore one's own hopes, dreams, in both senses. But it doesn't have to be. It can also be a bit of a hassle, given how rules tend to be different there than here. I personally like the rules of reality. I think that messing with them causes problems. More problems than it solves, at least. But if you have a wish to go to the Mansis and perhaps stay there, or be something more akin to Lapidoth, you can. His way is, of course, open to you, as any path is. But you'll have to do a lot of reading. His way is one of knowledge.
Christ almighty, I do a lot of things, but I don't read, Welland.
Then might I suggest perhaps a different path than his? There's the path of the flesh that the Order of the Bloody Cup likes to make way for. They're also one of experience.
I have one more question for you. If I were to take on a route more like that of the Endeavor Lodge, could I expect for any kind of support from you? A sponsorship, if you will, for all that entails.
If you are to give yourself to the ways of the Endeavor Lodge, you needn't actually be a part of it, but I would help where I can.
I'm making a lot of friends and a lot of debts faster than I'd like to right now. It's a good thing I'll have the strength to pull the rest of that off. And I'm sorry to tell you I can't promise you my carcass anymore. There's already someone else lined up for that.
Oh, I have no real need for corpses. I focus on the betterment of the living.
Right. Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch, Captain. Enjoy the rest of your Numa season, if that's what you do with these circumstances.
Indeed.
And I think with that, he's going to stroll back off into the broom.
And the good captain will make his way back to Helena and Sister Rosalie. I do apologize for making the both of you wait. It was something that was very important. It needed to be said now rather than later.
It's all right.
Yes, quite. So, Rosalie, you were looking for the captain. I'm afraid I was not quite as helpful as I thought I would be.
It's all right.
You need not apologize for anything, Miss McLeod.
I wanted to thank you for how kind you were to me when we arrived and extending your assistance and such. I meant to bring you and your wife some flowers, but things have been a little chaotic.
Well, how about this? When your business is done, you can bring the flowers and we'll all have a lovely meal together.
Yes, and my grandmother also sends her thanks and her regards. I doubt that you know her, but Margaret Glynn is her name, and she wished to thank you as well for looking after me.
Well, she sounds like a lovely woman and she was able to raise you so well.
Yes. Anyway, I'm taking up time. Sister.
I have requests.
So many requests today.
Unfortunately, not entirely planned until this morning. Do you happen to know of Everett Lapidoth?
Everyone seems to have met him. Yes, I know of Mr. Lapidoth.
Do you happen to know about his previous love? The one that the ocean had taken?
That makes him sort of just droop. Like weight just hit his shoulders and is now crushing down upon him.
Oh, Captain, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. Just old memories and the scars that come with them.
Oh, yes.
Yes, his love was she was a member of the Endeavor Lodge for a time. Madam, she called herself Madam Tutti, Madam Witi. I knew her as Audrey Leigh Howard.
Well, I would not have asked this if I knew it would bring scars upon you, but unfortunately, I do intend to ask for a bit of his help with a endeavor that we are going to be making related to the season going on. And to perhaps also make him a better person. Or, well, lack of a person, as you might say. Yes.
I don't know if anyone could make him a better person, but I'd be interested to see what happens when you try.
Well, what I am wanting to try, as he is able to enter the dreams of others, is to perhaps gain knowledge, dream of who she was, and hopefully make him better and less cunning and let him spend time with one that he loved.
You. It's not a bad idea. I just must warn you, sister. The person he loved, perhaps still does, is not in a good way. He told you what became of her, yes?
Only that she was taken by the ocean, I assumed that she had drowned.
If only. We do not expire as easily as others, sister. He was, as I am, a long and immortal, associated with the Forge of Days. Strong, driven, but she was also a mother. She wanted at one point to commit the crime of the sky. You know of this crime.
Indeed, I do. I was informed of it by Grit himself.
She was unaware of her child, and the moment that she knew that her child was alive, she dropped everything to find them, to consume her. But she still was a mother, and so she wanted to spend time with her child to at least get one night. And so she took enough morphine to kill a platoon. Enough morphine that would have eased the pain of so many soldiers. All just so that way she would not be ravenous enough to tear into her there. And with the last bit of will and the convincing words of an outsider, she committed herself to the sea. She had me assist. We wrapped chains around her and threw her into the ocean. She now exists in constant agony, the ocean water sizzling off her skin, and still feeling that hunger, no morphine anymore to keep her calm. You can do this. I will tell you of her, so that way you can try to connect them again. But it will not be a pleasant experience. It will be an endeavor of pain.
Bringing people together, bringing life, even watching it depart, is painful. Not all babies make it. I have seen and observed enough pain. I've also seen and observed so much love. That is why I do what I do. That is why I am the way that I am. I want to help nurture their love, no matter the cost.
Very well. I will tell you what I know of her. But I will once again warn you, You will have to seal yourself. Her spirit will not be kind and collected like Everett is.
Such things do not frighten. But I appreciate your concern.
Of course. Do you wish to know of her now, or would you perhaps like to tackle that when you return from whatever it is that you and your group are going to be doing?
Let's do it now.
Very well. And he will begin speaking about the time that he spent with Audrey Lee Howard, with how she helped him, how he helped her, the time in the Endeavor Lodge, and the time within Alexandria. It is a long conversation, telling you stories about battles that they spent together, about things that they've done, things they created together, and then about the conversation they had before he consigned her to the sea. It was a conversation of a mad woman feeling moments of clarity, hunger being lashed and held back by motherly instinct, and love for a daughter that she never really got to know. Once he is done, he takes in a deep breath and lets it out very slow. The breath is hot enough to cause more steam. It's almost more like a steam engine letting off pressure. That is all I know of Audrey. I wish you the absolute best of luck in your endeavor, and I hope that I am not the cause of too much pain.
It is yet to be seen.
Indeed. Best of luck to you and yours, sister.
Thank you.
And he will begin heading back towards his home that he shares with his wife.
That was quite the story.
I should only hope that it's busy enough that I should hope that it was detailed enough that I am able to vividly dream it up.
Oh, yes. Well, we should possibly head back. Never mind.
No, speak your mind.
About earlier. You had asked me. She'll reach back to touch the back of her neck. You had asked me about this, and I did not want to answer. And perhaps I should have, and things might have, well, Do you? I was wondering if maybe it was a little clearer now.
It is.
I think I feel guilty.
Why should you?
Because I wanted so badly to be free of him, and now he's gone, and I don't that that newspaper article. I don't know if you saw. He confessed to everything he'd ever done to me and others, and he was killed for it. And that was right after I had some rather unkind thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm not making any sense.
It's all right. Sometimes the best thing you can do is speak them. That way they are out of your mind, out of your soul.
Am I horrible?
No. You did not act on it. It is all right to have such unkind thoughts from time to time. So long as we don't act on them, and so long as we continue to do our very best in this life, in this world that we share.
Yes. I had just thought that I wanted everyone to know what sort of a person he was, and they did. I had no idea it would cause so much trouble.
You can never know until things are done.
Yes. Sorry, it was just weighing heavily on my mind ever since. And, well, everything sort of came out today with handing over my ring. So I just wanted to talk about it, and I didn't, well, clarify that I hadn't actually done something, but still feel responsible.
It's all right, dear. Rosalie is going to give Helena a hug, and a very tight one.
Oh, she will hug right back. Thank you.
Of course. Feel free to always come by, to always write to me, wherever you may be, to let me know of anything that you need to, that is burdening your soul, your mind, or to even share joyous news.
Yes. I think perhaps if everything turns out all right, I might want to stay here.
It would be a pleasure to have you stay with me at the church.
Oh, I don't know that that I would fit in quite, but
No need to practice, just be there.
I think that would be lovely.
I think so too.
Well, all right then.
All right then. Let's go grab Mr. Frederick and head back to the house.
Oh yes, where did he get off to?
He's probably stuck the same place Welland was, looking out at the inactive ocean.
You do see him there, being quite melancholy.
Mr. Tyler?
And he cocks his head up and looks at you.
She'll kind of hide behind Sister Rosalie.
Are you ready to head back to the house, Mr. Perler?
He's sort of been idly flicking open and closing his switchblade and tinkering it with it. And he closes it and he puts it back in his sock. And he gets up and strolls after the ladies.
Okay.
We'll head back to the Hutch House. With the preparations done by Loretta and Roderick and the librarian, you all are able to head to a tall tower. And where there's an archway with the correct rituals, you're able to focus and send yourselves from this world into the Mansis. I would like a roll of determination from everyone, and with the help made by Loretta, everyone will get 2 advantages for this roll. So that means an extra plus 20 to your determination.
Oh, I have a question.
I have an answer.
Cool. I don't know if this fascination ever went away, but I still have it on my sheet. It was light is pure.
Yeah, it did. It went away. It went
Okay.
away as you rested enough and got enough time within this place, especially with Numa coming in and just sort of eating away at it.
Okay. Just
So I have a quick question.
I have a quick answer.
The plus 20
Yes.
puts me at 100.
Uh-huh.
Do I
Puts me
have
at
to roll?
105.
You unfortunately you both do need to roll, because while there is no chance of a regular failure, if you roll 100, that is always going to be the devil is watching.
The devil's watching me in the shower. What the fuck? Get out of here,
I
you
always
weirdo.
feel
I'm
like
calling the police.
somebody's watching me.
What are we rolling again?
No, we need to cut that out.
Yeah, we're going to. We are going to be rolling determination with a plus 20.
Well, I am very good.
Is that everybody then?
That is everyone.
Yep.
Oh.
Legacy and I had a 1% chance of failure, so
Hey, sometimes it happens.
So I've rolled a 92, and I get plus 20 to my effective outcome for determination here. Is that correct?
You get plus 20 to your determination stat to determine if you would succeed or not.
I
You
rolled
got
a
a
16.
really good success, Vironz.
So that's a 60. I should probably use one of the tarot cards here.
Feel free.
Who is a good determination hour, do we think?
the Forge.
The Forge, yeah. Oh, especially for my character here. The Forge of Days, a 1d4. Okay. I will use a 1d4 here. Oops, to replace the tens place. Choose. Oops. Excuse me, that's not much of a command. 2, so I think my total roll is 22 then.
I got an 88, so
Alrighty.
Oh, well, my normal determination is 25, so I guess that would make it 45, and I rolled a 16.
All right, everyone succeeded. As you feel your selves, your consciousness, your minds flowing out from your body and into the Mansis as a whole, you steel yourselves, grip tightly to your preparations, grip tightly to the key of the Mare, and know that this will be the coming end of this horrid debacle. And we will see how it comes to a close next time